Okay, so another thing that was interesting to me about the film, there's this scene where all these Teslas, these white Teslas,
yes,
are all crashing into each other.
On its own.
On its own.
They left the dealership.
So there's one of the scenes, the car is coming towards them, and Ethan Hawke's character is like, "Oh, let's wave him down, let's flag him down." And Julia Roberts like, no, get in the car. There's nobody driving that car.
Because after that, to set that up, she got out the car and she's like, I'll go check it out.
Yeah.
And all these Teslas were just like, had been pinned into because
Yes.
they bottlenecked and nobody could get off the island.
Yeah.
Remember?
So these Teslas that were on auto drive or autopilot, whatever Tesla had, do you know that 2 million Teslas were recalled yesterday or day before yesterday?
2 days ago, yeah. After this, yeah. What up, though? Peace and love. It is your boy, Karan Joseph Riley, and this is another episode of Nice Watch, and this is the most wonderful show on TV with my beautiful co-host,
Ernestine Morrison, co-host of the Nice Watch podcast. This is where you come and we tell you what to watch, what makes it a nice watch. Welcome back to another phenomenal episode. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. And the movie we are reviewing this week.
Oh, wait, before we get into this movie,
what?
can we get into Karan's outfit today? Because
here we go.
Yeah, Karan said,
yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm giving y'all all fall today. I'm giving
man,
you
it's that sweater season.
the leather pants with
it's fall
the
season.
sweater. I mean, the deep V sweater. It's like, okay, we know you have chest and biceps. We get it. You work out. We get it. We understand.
Listen, Ernestine. You know the fall is where I shine in the wardrobe. I come from Detroit, so I like a little coolness to give me some layers. You know what I'm saying? Summertime, I'm going t-shirt and shorts like everybody else. But this time of the year to get a little creative.
You got creative. This is a nice outfit.
Thank you.
It's a nice watch.
It's a nice watch, and and Ernestine is my like unsung, untalked about,
unwarranted.
She kind of keeps me sharp, so I'm always thinking, well, let's make EJ be good. So if it works for you, it works for me. So thank you, Ernestine. And man, let's just get into this film, man. This film that we're about to talk about. Everybody's talking about it, and for good reason.
Good reasons and questionable reasons. What we watched this week is Leave the World Behind. Leave the World Behind is a nice watch. You have Julia Roberts. You have Ethan Hawke. You have Mahershala Ali. Like
Mahala from she's a transport from over the pond. I've seen her work on a lot of European productions. Yeah, over the pond. She's a really dynamic actress. I think I've loved her work up until this point, and she delivered again as playing Mahershala's daughter.
Yes, she did an amazing job. And when you work with people like Mahershala, with Ethan Hawke, everybody has to hold their own. And this entire cast, from the children to her, all held their own. The acting was phenomenal. But this film,
we had a Julia Roberts sighting. Julia don't work like that.
Julia doesn't come out, just pop out for anybody.
She just don't pop out for anybody.
She
but
does
she
not
popped
pop out
for the Obamas because why? They produced this joint.
The Obamas, Michelle and Barack Obama, were executive producers on this project.
Yep.
Love to see their name in the credits. I'm like, come on, Barack and Michelle, let's go.
Shout out to Higher Ground Productions.
Yes. So I want to get into it. Nice watch, guys.
Nice watch.
Get on Netflix right now, tonight, this weekend. Type in Leave the World Behind on Netflix. It's a nice watch. The acting, the cinematography, the directing. What I love, one of the things that like drew me in immediately though, was the coloring. I don't know why my mind, I think it was intentional, but there was so much blue. Like from the opening scene to the beach scene, there was all these blues. There was a blue shirt, a blue car, blue. I'm like, okay. I was almost like, my conspiracy theorist in me came out like, is this some type of programming, or are they trying to tell us something with all these different shades of blue?
I definitely think it was a lot of symbolism in this project. The blues being one of them. The animals, the wardrobe that the little girl wore with NASA on her shirt. Yeah, well,
there's a scene where the siblings, the two children, walk up to the parent, to the Julia Roberts character, and the boy has on a shirt that says "Obey," and then his sister has on a shirt that says "Nassau." When you look at it, it says "Obey Nassau." Yeah. So I'm like, there is definitely some.
It's definitely like you said. This is a watch that is going to age well. Like, you're going to be able to watch this. I think so.
Because I don't know if we're going to be around for part 2.
That part. Don't get me nervous. It got me already digging holes at the house, building bunkers now.
So for clarity, guys, this is an apocalyptic thriller. It is one of those things that makes you say, should I be stocking up on canned goods and water right now?
That part.
Is the world about to end? It's one of those. Like when 2012 came out and everyone was like freaking out. It's one of those apocalyptic suspense thrillers.
It is. And the way they did the scoring and, like you said, the camera movement and just just the shots they gave you, it kept on the edge of the seat, right?
Yes.
And after that big scene with the boat, after that we were all like, okay.
First of all, let's talk about the boat. Let's tell them about the boat.
We can tell them about the boat because the boat is like that is the thing that
the
kind of
family is sitting on the beach, enjoying a nice day on the beach, and there's this ship that the little girl notices first.
An oil tanker.
An oil tanker. It's a big ship, and she keeps looking, and she goes, "The ship looks like it's getting closer." A couple minutes more pass, and then she goes, "The ship looks like it's getting closer." And all of a sudden, the ship is almost to the shore.
Yeah.
The ship comes running and crashing into the shore.
It beaches itself.
And it comes to a screech. And then it says, White Lion. The side of the ship says White Lion. And it's blue. It's a blue ship. It says White Lion. So, you know, my conspiracy theory mind's like, let me look up White Lion and see what that means. Because that means something. And White Lion was one of the ships that brought over some of the first enslaved Africans.
Yep.
And I'm like, that's not a coincidence.
That's not a coincidence. And that's another note for people watching film and studying or just watching film. If it's on the camera, it has meaning to the story.
It's intentional.
There's nothing, if you're a really great filmmaker, there's nothing that's shot that doesn't move the story.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And that to your point, the White Lion, and then fast forward to the next scene, maybe a couple scenes later, they were all looking at the AM radio trying to get some information.
Yes.
And what was the dial?
The dial said 1619. So they're looking at the radio in the car. So let's rewind so we can tell them what the movie's about. So we said it's an apocalyptic thriller. And it's basically about like the whole internet shuts down, Wi-Fi shuts down. Imagine us all in 2023 and our Wi-Fi all went down, our internet all went down. There's no GPS. There's no Instagram. There's no Facebook. There's no internet. There's no Google. There's no Gmail. 80% of us are done.
Probably 90.
Yeah, unless you grew up in the time where internet wasn't really around.
I think I was maybe be able to pick up again because I grew up at a time where you had to know where you were going.
But did you grow up in a time where you had to pluck your own chickens and kill them and feed them because
yourself?
Because
I would have had to get some skills on that part. But I think the technology part, I know how to read a map. I know how to.
I don't know how to read a map.
Really?
No,
you do. You smart.
We used to have a Thomas guide back in the day, but
you'll get it. It's smart. It's nice, but you might. I think you'll be fine, but most people wouldn't.
Well, the internet goes down.
Yeah,
it's completely shut down in this town, right? So we think in the beginning, and I just thought about like, what if the internet just went down now in our modern day society in 2023? We're doomed. No Uber Eats.
Did you just say Uber Eats?
No Uber Eats.
That is classic.
No GPS.
Classic.
No Publix delivery.
Oh my God, that is so classic.
I had to go to the grocery store.
Oh my God, I just got back from Costco a little while ago, so I mean, I still go to the store. I appreciate
no, but seriously, I mean, they had no cell phone on the series.
It was no cell phone.
Remember,
there was no cell phone, no outside line. Even the phone line were down.
Everything
was
down.
All they had was the emergency broadcasting system that came on TV that night. And then they had that happen, and then that noise that kept hitting them.
The screeching noise just kept hitting them.
Right.
And I gotta see. So this is one of those films where you have to watch a couple times, and you have to Google later, like, okay, symbolism behind this and this. So when I saw the 1619 on the dial, I immediately knew, like, okay, and the way the camera stayed on it for a minute, I'm like, okay, this was intentional. So then I'm on Google, like 1619, I'm like, oh yes, that's the year that the first ship hit the U.S. With enslaved Black people.
Right. And the dynamic between Mahershala owning that house in the Hamptons with the white family staying in the house as an Airbnb. And then when they got there and when Ethan Hawke agreed to finally let them stay, they ended up staying in the basement. Which is crazy. Like he's
sleeping on the floor.
Yeah, he's sleeping on the floor in his $1 million Hampton house that he's had for 10, 15
20 years. He said he has
20
it for
years or
20
something.
years.
And his daughter was just at odds. She could not understand, like, how are we sleeping in the basement of our own house while they're up there?
So basically they own this home that's being rented or Airbnb'd for a family for vacation, and because all the power is out, they decide to come back to their home and ask the guests who are paying to be there, mind you, ask the guests, can we stay here? Basically, they didn't even really ask. They told them, we're staying here.
Well, I mean, they had every right to do that, and at the same time, it was a very smart plan to get out of the city. You know what I'm saying? If something like that happens, getting out of the city is probably going to be the safest thing you can do.
Yeah.
If you stay within the rural confines of a city, like into the city, the faster you saw how they almost turned against each other throughout the movie, because all those Wi-Fi, internet, all those things go away. you automatically get paranoid. You automatically like, oh my God, like I don't trust anybody.
So what's the first thing you would do, Karan, if our internet shut down, our phone system shut down, pretty much how we basically live in modern day society? If everything shut down, just even for a day, what would be the first thing that you go and do?
I'll probably go for a long bike ride. I'm like, shit, I ain't got nothing to do. I might just go for a ride and chill until something else comes up. I give it a day, and then you know.
But I'm saying, if you think that it's not gonna come back, what's your first move?
Man, the first move I think I would say is basically make sure everybody's in the house so I can know where everybody is, because you can't get in touch with anybody. So I would just make sure my family's in one location first and foremost. And from that point, I'd be like, look, guys, until the internet's back up, we're here so we can, you know, be ready to game plan or pivot or make moves if we need to make moves. Like we don't know what's going on right now. We don't know if this is a cyber attack. We don't know if this is internal, something that we've done to ourselves, or if it's somebody outside making an active attack on us. And me personally, I don't think, you know, we would be pretty safe for a minute, because I don't think nobody's coming for us per se. But this is something that could be realistically happen.
But what I thought about too is, and I would love to hear from you guys on who are watching. Go ahead and put in the comments, what would be your first move if you thought stuff was going down and you didn't know what the next move was going to be for the world? So what would you do to protect your home? And what I thought about immediately was like, I need to restock my deep freezer with a bunch of food. Right. That was one, because I'm like, if something goes down and we can't eat, like you got to eat to survive. So I'm like, let me get to Costco and get my deep freezer stocked up. That's probably going to be one of my first moves.
Right. Everybody's going to Costco. Everybody's going. If that happens, it's going to be a madhouse, and that's where you've run into the dangers really of dealing with trying to survive with other humans. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is scrambling at this point now because, hey, who walks around thinking about the end of the world? Right. So you saw what happened with the pandemic.
Theorist.
So yeah, but those are the people who already got their stuff.
Yeah. You know but imagine we go through another pandemic. A, we need to stock up on food. That's what I thought about. And two, I'm like more even longevity wise, I'm like, I need to really learn how to grow my own food. So I was like, I'm going to Home Depot and I'm stocking up on seeds. I'm going to get the cucumbers, tomatoes, potatoes. I was like, okay, what's the first thing I can plant that's going to last a long time and fill me up? I'm like, potatoes. I need to grow potatoes because we can live off potatoes especially sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are high in vitamins.
Yeah, you could plant some sweet potatoes, some potatoes, and definitely a lot of leafy greens. And, you know, Terry and I are talking about, you know, planting all that stuff in our yard and just make sure we start fruit trees and things of that nature. And also, I've been putting off buying myself a bow and arrow and learning how to shoot bow and arrow. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because even if something ever happened, even with my firearms, at some point the bullets are going to run out. Mm-hmm. You'll have to learn either how to make your own bullets, which they used to do back in the day. That's wild. My brother has a bullet maker at his house. Oh, wow. Like my brother, like, I already know if this. Yeah. Let me go back. The first thing the Wi-Fi goes out and the world's going left, I'm getting to my brother's house for sure. Like he's stocked up on all weapons and ammunition, and he knows how to shoot a bow and arrow already. Oh wow! So I get with my brother and his family so we could pool our resources for one.
Okay, so that's good. See,
and,
that's
and there's always strength in numbers. You know what I'm saying? Instead of one man that can protect the house, now we have two, and now you know everybody's close together, which that would be my first move. So learn how to shoot a bow and arrow. We got to learn we got to start growing. And this is what we all need to do anyway. Yeah. Because, listen, man, this world is not doing us any favors. Mm-hmm. And I'm not getting on any soapboxes or anything like that on this show, but as Africans...
He's like, I'm not going to get on my soapbox, but let me get on it real quick. Yeah, let me
I'm going to put a foot on it, then I'm getting off of it. But
a little tiptoe on it.
I got my colonoscopy yesterday.
Oh, okay.
All black men, get your colonoscopy. All black women, get your colonoscopy. Do not... let what happened to our brother Chadwick happen to you, where you get diagnosed and it's just not knowing what's going on inside your body. So that's my
So what is a not to get off subject, what is a colonoscopy check for?
Your internals, making sure you don't have colon cancer. Okay. You know, making sure you're not having any issues internally in your colon, which is where most of the diseases start. Within your stomach and your colon area, because the food gets trapped and. You know, and that's the thing that we have to. That's the silent killer. Yeah. So yeah, everything was clear. Everything was good. Good stuff. Thankful for that. But that's what get back on our story. We have to get into protecting ourselves because this country, this world is not going to protect us. Yeah. So making your own food, growing your own vegetables, and really just starting to cultivate your own kind of system is probably the best.
Self-sufficiency. And I think my husband talks about it all the time, which is why we have a homestead. Our home is on 27 acres of land. and we have our water source is a well. So we have well water. So I can drink my water right from my faucet. But this movie, like a 2012, like a Book of Eli, this movie, this apocalyptic style film makes you think about how would you sustain your life? How would you be self-sufficient to live and eat and feed yourself and hydrate yourself if the world were to change from what we know it as now? Exactly. And this is what this film did. And there's so much symbolism in the film that we could probably dissect for days, but just from a pure filmmaking perspective, it was a nice watch because visually it was so pleasing. The coloring, like as you guys start watching stuff, you'll start seeing how the colorist pulls out certain colors and it draws you in. It makes you feel a certain way. Like colors depict moods. So there was a lot of blues. The way that this DP and this director teamed up to get these shots were wild. Like there's this one shot in the beginning of the movie where she's coming down the steps and the camera's kind of just like swoops up and then comes up. I'm like, what kind of camera is that?
They have it on an arm, and then it has a rotation jig, and it does a rotation. It's basically
it was a beautiful shot.
Yeah, and it's like if you've probably seen it on set and didn't know what it was, but it has that circle around it.
Oh yes.
And then you have two guys working that camera. You have a guy with the remote, and then you had a guy actually using.
I've seen that. Yeah, that shot was beautiful.
Yeah, Will says he always got one.
Okay.
Yeah, he always got one of those jigs they can.
That's a bigger budget.
Bigger budget.
Yeah, it's a bigger budget.
That camera.
When you have a bigger budget, you can do more stuff.
$50,000 a day for that camera.
$50,000 a day.
A day, for that whole setup.
Sheesh.
$50,000.
Sheesh. Oh yeah. I wrote some notes. Okay, so another thing that was interesting to me about the film, there's this scene where all these Teslas, these white Teslas, are all crashing into each other
on its own.
On its own.
They left the dealership.
So there's one of the scenes, the car is coming towards them, and Ethan Hawke's character's like, "Oh, let's wave him down, let's flag him down." And Julia Roberts like, no, get in the car. There's nobody driving that car.
Because after that, to set that up, she got out the car and she's like, I'll go check it out.
Yeah.
And all these Teslas were just like, had been pinned into it because they bottlenecked and nobody could get off the island.
Yeah.
Remember?
So these Teslas that were on auto drive or autopilot, whatever Tesla had, do you know that 2 million Teslas were recalled yesterday or day before yesterday?
2 days ago, yeah. After this, yeah. I have a Tesla. I know. It's crazy.
I'm like.
It's crazy.
Do y'all see? That is for Tesla to recall just recently all these Teslas, and that was just in this crazy apocalyptic film. Yep. I'm like, bruh, look, I'm about to stock up on everything.
Hey, it's crazy. And you know what's funny is Terminator, all these things talking about AI and all of the stuff that can happen with AI. This is all, to me, now I feel like they're just throwing stuff up in the air to see who believes and who doesn't believe it. Yeah. Just like in this movie here, they were basically talking about, and really the crux of this movie was the have and have-nots having information versus not having information.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And Julia Roberts said it. She says, the guy with the beard, he knew. He was stacking up at the grocery store.
And he was your typical survivalist and doomsday person. So he's always been prepared. And then you remember he was saying about the guy doing construction on the island in his house.
Yeah.
And the blueprints weren't even allowed out. Nobody could know what was going on.
Yeah.
And then you had you had Kevin Bacon's character basically telling him like, look, man, it's over with the whole neighbor thing. Like we got to be on our own. And it was tough for Mahershala to understand that. But you saw him, the guy who's been calm the whole time, have a moment of like, yo, this is survival now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think that was a very powerful moment for the movie as a turning point of saying, oh my God, this is serious, more serious than we thought. And also what I thought was very interesting and very dope that they used that little girl to really be the observer of everything.
Oh yeah.
She observed everything.
She was kind of like really ahead of everybody, kind of as her nuances of paying attention to everything
out of the mouths of babes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We as an adult society, we tend to not listen to the children. Like my daughter said something to me one day, and it was so crazy. But she's like, you know what? Y'all should listen to kids sometime. And it was crazy.
Stopped you in your tracks. Like, wait a minute.
You know what? You're right, because they don't have all of the bull crap over their filters and over their eyes that we have as adults. They don't have all of the years and years of lies, trauma, all the stuff that's built up on them yet. So they're seeing things pretty
purely.
Yes.
And honest.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like she's like, I saw all these deers. Like, what was up with that? They don't move like that, do you? And then of course the teenage boy, all he was thinking about was his phone and the girl.
And the girl.
Right. I think the character work was amazing.
It was.
Again, everybody was true to their characters in a way that they represented big groups of people.
Yeah.
Right? Ethan Hawke's guy represented a group of people. Rehearsal is a guy represented a group of people. The daughter, the teenager, Julia Roberts.
Yeah.
Like even the whole scene with the Latin American woman and Ethan Hawke.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what that scene symbolized. I know it symbolized something.
I think to me it symbolized the unconnectedness of our society. Like we have a huge Spanish population in this country. Do you speak Spanish?
I can understand it conversationally.
So could you understand what she was saying to him in that car?
Some of it.
Some of it.
Like when she asked to use the phone, I knew what she was saying. But I'm from California, so
you grew up.
I grew up around
Latins,
a lot of Mexicans and Salvadorians. So you can
understand. Yeah, so
I'm conversation I can understand.
Right. See, I picked up maybe 2 words out of that whole conversation just from me working in restaurants in the kitchen type situation. But I wanted to be able to get no information. Like she was giving probably a lot of information that could have helped him.
We should actually go back and watch it and then translate it to see what she was saying.
That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, because I know there was a.
I bet she gave a lot of information in that translation.
For sure.
I bet it was like, yo, people that can understand that Spanish was like, oh my God, if he could have understood her, he could have took that information back to his family because he got back with no information.
Yeah. You came back with nothing. There was no point in you even leaving, sir. You came back with nothing beneficial.
Went lost and got lost because no GPS. It was just all over the place. And he came back a complete mess with no information, right?
But you know how you always say, like, watching something, when you're watching a nice watch, it makes you want to put your phone down. When I tell you I did not pick my phone up one time during, because it keeps you on the edge of your seat because it's so close to real life that it's like, oh, what if this happened in real life? And you want to know what's going to happen next, and you want to know what that sound is, and what's happening with the internet, and what happened to the TV, and what does this symbolism mean? It was one of those movies.
I'm not going in front. After that boat, I was locked.
Yeah. The boat locked me. The boat locked me.
Oh, this what we doing?
Yeah.
I was like, because I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
Because they didn't give you a lot in the preview.
Yeah.
They talked about it. And I was like, the cast alone, I was watching.
Well, the cast alone jogged me. I'm like Ethan Hawke, Julia Roberts, Mahershala.
Ethan Hawke.
I'm in. I don't even care what the movie's about.
It could have been, it could have been about candy canes and goddamn reindeer. I'd have been all in.
For sure.
But it was brilliant. It was a brilliant film. I think it's definitely a nice watch that you have to rewatch.
You have to
really appreciate.
It's one of those ones you have to dissect.
Yeah, that's why I said it's gonna age well. It's gonna be one of those movies like, if the world doesn't end in the next 5 years, we're gonna go back and be like, yo, that did happen, or such did happen. And I think film has always been used to soften up the masses ahead of time. You know what I'm saying? All the alien movies, all the stuff that comes out, Terminator with AI. They prepared us for this AI thing in the 80s, in the 90s about what could potentially happen.
I don't know if I would use the word soften. I would definitely use the word program. I think it programs us to be prepared. Programming is
softening you. Because programming basically makes you malleable.
Well, softening, you can program a person and it makes them harder. You can program a person and it makes them more anxious or more alert or more aware. Right. Or you can program a person to desensitize them and they think it's normal. So I feel like programming doesn't necessarily mean soften.
I think it may be a synonym.
Programming and soften?
I think it, because you can program any way you want. Like I can program you to be harder. I can program you to be softer. I can program you to be anxious. I can program you.
You can't program me and what's the word? Predict how I'm gonna take it, because me and you could watch the same program and it may program you one way and program me the other way because of how people receive information.
Right.
So you may get anxious by this thing that we just saw.
Right.
And I may see it and get desensitized. So now I think it's normal. So if I see it, I'm like, oh yeah, that happened in the movie.
Right.
You may see it and be like, oh my God, in the movie that happened. So I have to make sure I'm prepared. So I feel like the programming is
I think it's subjective. The mass. I think they look at the masses over like the small percentage of people that's going to actually go that way versus anxious versus like desensitized.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we've seen so many alien movies. I don't think we would totally freak out if E.T. pulled up on you right now. You'd be like,
I would freak out if E.T. pulled up on me.
I wouldn't freak out. I would, because I've already assumed and really in my mind know and think, or I'm not arrogant enough to think that we're the only people in the whole galaxies of worlds.
For
and
sure.
All this. It's just arrogance.
I definitely believe in aliens. I'm still going to be freaked out if I see one.
I'm personally going to be trying to figure out what I can get. Like, what's up, man? What can we do? Let's pull up. Let's figure this out, man. Like,
now you trying to befriend the alien?
Hell yeah, I'm coming in peace. I'm cool. Like, dude, like I'm an alien my damn self. I feel like it being, black in America. Shit, I'm an alien too.
Oh my gosh.
Real talk. Think about it. We are. Think about it. Everybody's scared of us for no reason.
I'm not. I don't think. I don't know. Okay. And I don't think everyone's scared of us for no reason. I think there are a sector of people who may be afraid, who may have fear.
Well, the programming has programmed the world to fear us. and we have zero power to be feared for. Yeah.
That's another podcast.
We don't even have a laser beam to even shoot you with, but they scared of us for whatever reason. It's the programming.
It's programming.
Which is why Julia Roberts' character represented that sect of people.
Yeah, I think her character definitely represented that sector of people.
And I love how they, and I also love how
when
they
she said,
softened her.
Oh God, what was the line where she said, No, it was the daughter. And she said, well, isn't that the pot calling the kettle black?
Right. That was the line.
Yeah.
That was, and that the pot calling the kettle black.
Yeah.
That was crazy. And those two, and I love the conflict between those two characters.
Yes.
Right.
And it was off the rip too. What was the first thing she said that rubbed her the wrong way? The daughter said something in the kitchen when they first got there.
Well, it happened at the front door. When the daughter pulled up, it was like, yeah, this is our house.
Yeah. And it should be fine because this is his house.
Right.
Yeah. Let me be clear. Right. Because he owns this.
Right. Let's stop playing.
Yeah.
And then we got inside the house and they're like, he goes and opened up the liquor cabinet. They couldn't get in before.
Yeah.
And Ethan was like, no, he had the key to the liquor cabinet. And Julia Roberts was like, so what does that mean?
What does that mean?
That doesn't mean anything.
He could have been
he could have been the house helper.
The house help.
Right. The house help. And that tuxedo he pulled up in.
Yeah.
I mean, the tuxedo that he had on was $5,000 a minimum.
For sure.
It was cold. I mean, it was crazy. And
where did he say he was at the symphony or something?
He was at the ballet or the symphony.
Yeah.
Something. I mean, that house was $10 million.
Oh, off the rip.
Off the rip.
Off the rip. The house was beautiful.
It was almost chained. And I love the house. It was set up so beautifully. And it was
I think that's something that's going to pull you guys in as an audience when you go watch this film. I mean, the ship scene definitely like solidifies, okay, I'm watching the rest of this movie. But from the very opening scene, you just see how well it's shot. It's so clean. It's so crisp. It's colorful. You can tell like the cameras are really, really good. The directing, the shots pull you in. And it's a nice watch.
It is a nice watch. And
it's a nice watch.
I'm not mad that it's a runtime of 141 minutes. So it's
definitely
a little long,
over 2 hours.
But you won't feel it. That's another way you can tell if it's a nice watch. Now, if you sat there for over 2 hours and you feel like, man, I could watch something else.
Yes.
Or you sit there like Terry and I, we talked for like 2 hours afterwards, like, wow, what was that about?
Oh, you guys watched it together.
Well, she was in the kitchen doing stuff, and of course, I'm just like all in, and she's like, this is crazy. I'm like, yeah, this is.
It's
really
one of those
crazy.
things you don't want to take your eyes off of.
Right, exactly. And that's how she watched. She started watching Rustin like that with me too, and was like, dude, this is good as anything. I said, yeah, this is crazy. And so eventually, if it can pull you away from what you're doing, and you can sit there for 141 minutes and not miss that time, that is a signified nice watch.
Signified is a certified nice watch. So make sure as you go into the weekend this week, you pull up that Netflix app. You know, Netflix needs to start paying us over here because we send a lot of people to Netflix. Pull up that Netflix app and watch Leave the World Behind. Very nice watch. Something else I'm watching.
What?
So you guys are gonna laugh at me a little bit probably because I'm more of a nerd. Many people may not know that, but you watch The Big Bang Theory, right? You've seen it before. Most Black people
Ashton Kutcher
don't watch it. No, it's not Ashton Kutcher.
What was he? He was the 70s show.
That 70s show.
Yeah, they were all kind of the same for me.
Karan be so confident, be wrong. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, the 70s. Yeah, Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah.
No,
show,
Big Bang Theory. Jim Parsons.
Nerdy guy. Jim the little
Parsons.
skinny guy there. Looked like Pee Wee to me.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Jim Parsons for one is a shout out to you, Jim Parsons. Phenomenal actor. He is part of an ensemble cast called The Big Bang Theory. And there's a spin-off show. I really don't know which came first. Probably Big Bang Theory. But there's a spin-off show, Young Sheldon, which is basically about Jim Parsons' character from Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang came first, I think. And then because Big Bang ended, right? Well, how many seasons? Yeah, 10?
They're like 10 or 12 seasons of that
a
show.
lot.
So it's a show that a lot of people of color don't really watch. Because it's not, I don't know why, but I do. I love it. And every time I'm on the plane, that's what I watch is The Big Bang Theory. So anyway, Young Sheldon is now on Netflix. And Young Sheldon is based around Jim Parsons' character in Big Bang Theory. So it's him growing up. It's him as a child.
Explaining all his
idiosyncrasies and his mannerisms and how he's just like this nerd.
Right.
Like he's this science nerd who's always been attracted to science and facts and just so anyway, it's a really good cast. It's very funny. If you like dry humor and intelligent comedy, Young Sheldon is really, really good.
Just like in the movie that we're talking about today, Leave the World Behind, the little daughter was obsessed with seeing the last episode of Friends.
Yes.
So if you enjoy Friends, you enjoy Big Bang Theory, you will enjoy Young Sheldon, you will enjoy the 70s show, you'll enjoy pretty much all those.
Seinfeld.
Seinfeld was,
Well, I would say Big Bang Theory I wouldn't put in the same category as Friends.
You don't think?
No, Big Bang Theory is it's very nerdy.
Right.
It's a lot of words that are not common. I wouldn't put them in the same vein.
Okay, I'll give you that. So I would put, but in Friends would be what? Cheers?
Yeah, we'll put Friends and Cheers. And
I feel like Cheers wasn't even. Cheers to me was like pretty much a white show, but it didn't feel white because of where it was at. It was at a bar. Everybody can relate to the stuff. Everything that happens in a white bar usually happens in a black bar, or it's the same stuff. We drinking, we talking shit.
Yeah,
you got people that's regulars, you got people that's coming in.
Yeah, Cheers was really good. Cheers was really good.
That's one of the best shows ever.
Back to Friends though. Another thing that was eerie about Leave the World Behind was, yes, the daughter was obsessed with Friends, and I'm just like me, the conspiracy. I'm like, well, Matthew Perry just passed away. I'm like, what a coincidence that like Friends is a highlight of this film, and then like Matthew Perry just, and then all the Instagram post that Matthew Perry left, that posted right before his passing. I'm just like, does this mean something? Is this all interconnected? I don't know.
It's a lot there, man. It's a lot to unpack, and I definitely think
I want you to watch an episode of The Big Bang Theory, and I want you to watch Young Sheldon just to see what your thoughts are. To see if you.
I watched Big Bang Theory a couple times.
You didn't like it?
No, I didn't say it. I enjoyed it. It wasn't nothing. It wasn't. Yeah, like I said, I watched a couple episodes of Big Bang 70. I watched all those shows at some point, just enough. I never I can't say I watched all the seasons.
Yeah.
Young Sheldon I never seen.
So Young Sheldon, I always saw the promo for it, but I didn't know what it was. But it just recently came on Netflix, so. I was like, I'm like, is this Sheldon from Big Bang Theory Sheldon? So I clicked on it and I started watching. I'm like 3 seasons in now, and it's so good.
I love it.
It's just, again, I like that dry humor. I like that intelligent humor. I like jokes that make you think. And it's super relatable to my childhood, really, because I was like a little nerd, and I was like always had the Egyptian kits where you can build pyramids and like science projects. Like I love that kind of stuff, and there's an inner child in me that still loves all that stuff. So I really liked it. If you guys are interested, go ahead and go to Young Sheldon on Netflix, see what that's hitting on.
Yeah, and just what I'm watching too, just to give you just something to tidbit on. If you finish Leave the World Behind, Young Sheldon, you also have another series on Netflix that was pretty good, Obliterated.
Obliterated. What was that about?
It's basically Hangover meets like Hangover meets Expendables.
Oh, I'm putting that on my watch list. Obliterated on Netflix. We're putting that on our nice watch list.
An elite team of counter-terrorist experts.
Okay.
Stop a nuclear bomb, or so they thought.
Okay.
So they thought they stopped the nuclear bomb. They were in Vegas when they stopped it. So they were like, man, we just saved the world. Don't nobody know. Let's just go get shit-faced and go.
Okay.
And they had a big party, got shit-faced. And halfway through the party, they bosses from CIA and the government called like, yo, the bomb is still in play. So now they had to go and track the bomb down, and everybody's high on drugs and alcohol and everything. And so the whole series is them trying to save the world high and drunk.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Not they're responsible for our fate.
Yeah, no, it was hilarious. It was so much funny stuff.
So it's a comedy.
Yeah, it's a comedy.
Well, yeah, you said Hangover meets.
Yeah, Hangover meets Expendables.
Okay. And it's same filmmakers?
Yeah. Is it what?
Same filmmakers of Hangover?
No. I don't think so. It's a whole nother group of filmmakers, but it is actually where it's cinematography. The budget was obviously there. I mean, clearly.
Yeah. Projects, I'm convinced that projects that have the budgets,
it's gonna win every time.
You have the opportunity and resources to play, and you have the opportunity and resources to have the right resources available for the set, for the world, for the design, for the wardrobe. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I hate when you watch something and it's supposed to be a timepiece, a period piece, and the wardrobe doesn't quite hit, and it's like, that may have been a budget thing, or it could have been you hired the wrong wardrobe team. But 9 times out of 10, it's a budget thing.
Like 9.8 times out of 10.
Yeah, it's a budget thing. And it's like, this would have been good if the wardrobe matched the time.
Right.
Or the hairstyles matched the time. It's like, I hate when I watch something and I'm like, now that hairstyle was not 90s. She would have not had that hairstyle back in the 90s. Nope.
And that's just the homework that you have to do as a director and a producer and all the people above the line. That's what they're responsible for. Actors can't be responsible for that. All we do is show up and we put on what you give us.
Yes.
And we walk into the sets that you build. So if all of that is happening and it does not look right, do not blame the actors, guys. It is all on the producers.
The producers. Listen, guys, I want to hear from you more. So in the comments, I want you to tell us, what have you all been learning about film and television since you've been watching Nice Watch Pod? Have you been learning anything? Has something struck up a nerve in you? Have you got the fight to maybe act or direct or produce or write? I want to know in the comments. We're going to read the comments tonight after this episode drops. So as you go into the weekend and you're watching these shows that we're talking about, go ahead and come back to the comment section in the comment box and leave us a comment. Let us know what your thoughts are on the show and what have you been learning since watching us on the Social Proof Network.
And let us know if you disagree with any of our nice watches as well.
Oh yeah, let us know. Let us know.
Keep it real. We keep it 100 over here, dog. Keep it 100. That's what we do. So we can't get better, or it's your opinion as well. We understand it's art. It's art, and art is subjective. So,
and shameless plug, Karan has a new show out. The new season of his show, Black Hamptons, is out right now. So if you have not watched the Black Hamptons on
BET
Plus, make sure you get that BET Plus app and support Karan Joseph Riley as the second season of his show.
Yeah, man.
Black Hamptons just launched.
Yep.
How many episodes is it?
It's the third one. Started that plays today, Thursday, and plays every Thursday at I think 9 p.m.
Okay, so a new episode drops every Thursday, but you can binge watch the series if you haven't caught up on the BET Plus.
Get to the second, you'll be all good.
App, yes.
See what us Britons are up to.
The Britons, yes, I love it. I love watching you guys' promo. Whoever does the promo does a really good job. The marketing's really good.
Trey and them are doing their thing, man. I just give a shout out to Trey Haley and Indy Brown.
Shout out to Trey Haley.
Yep, man.
Carl Weber.
Another group of us. Indy Brown is a sister that is killing in the game. She's a sorority sister, and they all are basically from that HBCU realm of world.
Nice.
And they've all come together, and they're creating a bunch of magical things for a lot of people to work and act. And so shout out to you guys, Destin, Carl Weber, Indy. Love you guys. Thank you for the opportunity. That's what that is.
Nice watch.
Yeah.
Black Hamptons, a nice watch. Leave the World Behind. It is, to me, it's the watch of the week. Yeah. I'm going to actually watch it again tonight because now I want to watch it.
I got to go watch it again now.
Yeah, you got to. It's one of those films you have to just watch over and over because it's like so like the Book of Eli. I just will I will randomly watch the Book of Eli just once every blue moon because you catch something else. And the older you get and more mature you get, you catch something that you weren't developed enough before to even understand.
I always say that, man.
This is one of those films.
Information hits you at different times in your development, and depending on your perception or your reality at that time, that information may or may not resonate with you at that time. That's why it's like, if you, like you and I over the years, like how many opinions that we've had that we share with each other based on life.
Yeah, and they've changed over the years.
What? Yeah,
something that we talked about last year may not even really affect us the same
like
this year.
Karan, I don't even see it that way no more. I'm like, EJ, you right, you was right, or Karan, or hey, EJ, neither one of us is right.
Neither one of us is right. Right.
And that's I can think that's the word of the day.
Yeah.
Stay open, stay living. And just be ready to see what the life is going to give you because your perception is going to create.
It changes.
Absolutely.
Let me actually read this. I saw someone put this on Instagram the other day, and it's really how I already think. But you know how like you may think something and you don't necessarily know how to articulate it, but you know what you know. But then you see it written and you're like, that's exactly. That's it says, you stop explaining yourself when you realize people only understand from their level of perception. Mm-hmm. I used to be so gung-ho about over-explaining myself to make you get it. And it's like some stuff other people are just not going to get because it's not up. Their level of perception is not even there yet. Their level of self-development isn't there yet. Their eye isn't there yet. The way they receive information isn't there yet. So now you're wasting your good vocal cords explaining something that they're not even meant to understand yet.
Absolutely. I always say proper communication happens when the filter and the receiver or the giver of information and the person you're giving it to, their filter is clean enough to receive it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I could tell you the sky is blue, but if in your filter you have this belief that it's not, you're not gonna believe no matter if you go out there and look at it.
It doesn't matter what you tell me.
It doesn't matter. So like you said, don't waste your time explaining yourself to people, like you said, that are just not there yet. And it's not a problem that they're not there yet. Have grace for them.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Another lesson I learned this year is it's not a problem that they're not there yet.
No, it's just,
and it doesn't make you better or smarter or anything that they're there. Where everyone's on a different part of the journey. And I think once you start understanding that in life, you'll start looking at movies different. You'll start having conversations different. You'll start receiving information different. You'll start being at peace with how things just are.
Yep. You'll stop squeezing the soap.
Yeah, that's so good. But what I do know for sure is that what we talked about today was a nice watch. Leave the World Behind is a certified nice watch.
Banger.
Yes, make sure you get into it this weekend. Tune in BET Plus to the Black Hamptons. Yep. And I think next week we'll bring a guest on. I think Karan and I will bring one of our actor friends on next week, just so you guys can hear from another actor. And we'll talk about something cool next week. We'll bring on one of our friends.
Yeah. And since we're in the holiday, we may even talk about a Christmas movie or something.
Yeah, let's do a Christmas movie next week.
You know, Eddie Murphy did his first one ever.
Oh yes, Candy Cane Lane.
Candy Cane Lane on Amazon Prime, so we can check that out. And then
so make sure, so you guys watch it with us. So watch Candy Cane Lane as well this weekend. We'll discuss it next week.
Let's make next week interactive.
Yes, and we'll bring on a guest.
We'll bring a guest.
Maybe we'll call Tequila or one of our friends. Yeah,
somebody. We bring somebody.
Yeah.
That can break up the monotony.
May surprise you guys with some of our actor friends.
Yeah.
Next week. But this has been another phenomenal episode of Nice Watch. Make sure you tune in to Leave the World Behind on Netflix. Phenomenal film, amazing cinematography, amazing directing, shots, and acting. And we'll see you back next week on another episode of
Nice Watch.